Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, sorted now. Wow. Okay, greetings, family, and welcome to the Kimbunga Media. This is Stella B. I'm here to talk to you all. We are here when Nat joins me to talk to you about Dandara Dos Palmares. So, excuse me for my not good Portuguese. One thing that I've learned over this short time of a month, one or two things, it's not enough time for study, 1 month. When you've got many things to do, and also that I need to learn more languages because a lot of the study coming up for Dandara is in Portuguese, and I wish I had paid more attention to the idea of learning other languages as a youth, because then it would have been much better. Let me just see if anyone is trying to join in the chat. So today we are talking about Dandara Dos Palmares. She is a warrior of the, I believe, 17th century, who was an enslaved powerhouse woman. And as she fought the evil of slavery, enslavement, with her partner Zumbi, who we probably all have heard of. We are honouring her as part of the Revolutionary Minds study. So the Revolutionary Minds is a great concept where we study every single month a Pan-African or African diaspora great who has done legendary things that we should all know about. And we do this, and then we turn what we learn into poetry. So this has been going on for a very long time now. We've studied so many fantastic individuals who I'm going to make sure we tell you all about. So I've already got a message from IC3 Reparations Nation. Dandara Dos Palmares was a key figure in Brazilian history, particularly in the fight against slavery and colonial oppression. She was a warrior and leader of the Columbo dos Palmares, a community of escaped African slaves, quilombolas in Brazil, that existed during the 17th century. That's correct. Thank you so much, IC3 Reparation Nation, for that insight. And I am welcoming all insight. Please do contribute to this conversation. Hands up. I have not done nearly enough study on this powerhouse. I've tried to do some cram reading today, and I will share a little bit of what I have found when it is time to. So, but talking on the aspect of turning what we learn into poetry, the angle I'll probably take on for my poem, which will be performed at Auntie Jean's this Sunday, is just that the minuscule information that is put out for women warriors or women freedom fighters, women who have done amazing, powerful things that should be equal to their male counterparts, if it's a partnership, or just equal to the male counterparts of other heroes as well. This is the issue that patriarchy has brought into our 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 mindsets as well, because we forget about these powerhouse women, especially when they're African, black, dark-skinned, beautiful, melanated Africans. Especially, that's when it's often really put at the back burner in terms of not giving access to women about these powerhouses, so that it will inspire generations of young black girls to look up and see these amazing human beings who just happen to be, you know, the most important. Um, well, we're all important, but you know, they're women, and you know, without women, where's everybody? So yeah, it's been a tough study in terms of finding out information. You can't really get away with just looking online. Really, what would have been better is to go and discover any readings and look into going to the library if there was more time, because she's someone that really deserves that effort. But thank you for that, IC3 Reparation Nation. Thank you for that information you sourced. It is very, very valuable. So I'm just trying to see, is there anyone trying to get on with us? Is Nate around? Let's see. Trying to manage this new system. Ah, there he is. Okay, fantastic.
I'm on stage. Okay, dope. Hey. Hey, Stella.
Oh, greetings, brother. How are you?
Peace, peace, peace. I'm well, thank you. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to see you. I'm not gonna lie.
I've literally been sitting here for the last 10 minutes listening to
Have
you speak.
you?
I've like I sent you a WhatsApp. I've
Oh,
been sending you like messages in the comment section, like the private message comment section. I was like, I'm here. What do I do? How do I get on stage? I was like, what do I do? I'm stuck.
my
But I'm
bad.
glad. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here anyway. All I can see is literally like matrix buttons everywhere on this screen on this
Yeah,
side.
yeah. This we need Shakara to come and
We
support us for
do
a couple of these, man. So they can come and, you know what I mean? Like help us navigate this system because it is a
one
bit tricky.
100%, 100%. I tried to be
Yeah.
adventurous and do some things today, and it caused the sound to go away. So not doing that.
Okay.
All right, but you're here.
You
You're
did
here.
well. We're here. We're here. Yeah, we
You're
made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. And thank you for your synopsis on Dandara Dos Palmares. Definitely a good one. You're right, mum. She was definitely like I found her to be like there's not much information out there about her. You know, she's very like hidden. You know what I'm saying? Like even though her name is known, there are songs about her. There are songs about her. Yeah, there's like one capoeira master. I think his name is Barrial. um, and he's got like a song about Dandara, which is very, very common. So I used to practice capoeira when I was younger, and there are certain things that you have to learn. One thing that would have been good, I feel like, would have been for me to find a capoeira group and join them and kind of, ask them some questions or find like an uncle or auntie who's deep in the capoeira scene because that's where you're going to get the most information. Because I did capoeira when I was young, like late teens, early 20s, um, and yeah, you have to learn the different instruments. You have to learn to play the berimbau. You have to learn to play the drum. You have to learn to do handstand and flip before you can get your chord. Yeah, before you can like level up, get the next belt.
I was
You
like
have to learn.
karate and kung fu.
Yeah,
There's like levels.
there's levels exactly. You have to learn the names of all the different masters, like some of the historical, like the some of the historical top of top masters, yeah, and we honor them the same way at Auntie G's market. We call out names. The capoeira class that I was in when I was younger, we used to call out the names of all of them at the beginning, so we had to know them. Um, it's been so long. It's been so long, like nearly 20 years at this point. that my memory is very hazy when it comes to all of that. So I'm really glad that we had this opportunity to kind of dive back into some capoeira study, um, and like learn a bit about Dandara Dos Palmares and Zumbi, Wago and that. Love, brother. Love, 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 love. Um, but yeah, the information is not abundant. I'm gonna say that it is not abundant when it comes to Dandara dos Palmeiras. So I'm gonna be going based on kind of some of the stuff that I remember and some of the stuff that I've found um, for today. But yeah, that's me. That's me. Over to Nat. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. That's
No.
got a mouthful. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know what, Nate? Big up, Nate. Big up, big up. Good to see you. As you're
Come
aware,
on.
like I'm just not versed up today.
I hear it.
Not versed up, and
Which
it's
is which is something because Dandara dos Palmares was your idea. Yeah, you were the one who recommended Dandara dos Palmares, and then Jael was the second one, and she's not here either. So we've but it was a good recommendation. I got no complaints about the recommendation. Yeah,
you know what it is
I
as
think
well.
she's a very good recommendation for Revolutionary.
You know what it is that similar to, remember Kandake Manarenas?
Mm,
At the time, well, whenever you learnt about her originally, she was fresh in your mind, right? It's a similar
mm,
Dandara with me now. Like I'm just like, yeah. But
mm,
a while ago, when I would have said it to you, she was in my head then,
Okay. Well,
mm.
and I do feels like her story is very important because it's another one of the, like, you understand what I'm saying in terms of like, or what Stella was saying as well earlier, like you have Zumbi and there's so much information about Zumbi, and his wife is just like, she's literally alongside. It's like, basically it's like if there's in 1,000 years time or whatever, a story's being told, and because it's patriarchy, you'd only learn about Nat 9, wouldn't learn about Stella. Like it's similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Where you guys are together, you guys are sitting together, you guys are building together, you guys are traveling together, you guys are putting people on together, you guys are, do you know what I'm saying? And then boom, it's only Nat's name that we're hearing. That doesn't make sense.
That's how I feel about
So
Dandaro.
yeah,
you're half on the screen.
Okay, you're not on the screen.
Yeah, no, because I was exemplifying what you just, the point you were
Oh,
just
okay,
making.
okay, okay, okay. I didn't catch the
Stella,
part. It's over my head.
Stella B with the creativity. Yeah, all right, Stella, all right then.
Just do a demonstration.
Yeah,
That is literally what it'd be like, though, isn't it? It would be like that.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah.
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 Well, we're here, and so we are honouring her, and I think big up for that, Nate, because yeah, it's I'm gonna spend tomorrow cramming and just getting what I can, and then learn from what you say today, Sister Shirley.
Sister
Woo!
Shirley!
Yay!
Greetings,
See the
greetings.
top of your
greetings.
head.
Greetings, Sister Shirley.
Yeah.
Greetings, family. Greetings,
Greetings.
greetings.
Greetings. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got sound.
We've got sound. We've got
We
sound.
got sounds. Good
Yes.
to see you.
Good.
Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Good
Cool.
to be here. Pleasure.
So hopefully, maybe you've got some insight as well. But if not, it's okay. We'll be we're all learning together, so it's all good. But Nate, you can break down the whole structure and everything like that. I don't think I really went into that enough. Maybe, or did I? Do you think I did?
What is revolutionary
I
mind?
think you did really well. I think
Okay.
you did really well, honestly. I think you did excellent. I was listening for the first 10 minutes and I was like, go on, Stella. That you said all the things,
Okay. All
But
right. Cool. Okay.
yeah.
All right then. And then so okay, let's kick off. So let's go into it. IC3 mentioned in his comments an overview. So he placed her in Brazil, of course, which is the important part. She was the wife of Zumbi, and people might want to hear about a bit about Zumbi. I don't know if you've got that detail there.
Mm.
Any of and she was a warrior, and capoeira was the warrior style of the people there as well. So you can break all of those things down.
So I guess to talk about capoeira then, to start off with that, because that is a really important part of, our study. Capoeira, the Columbo, and yeah, the culture at the time. So capoeira is a martial art. It's still practiced today. There are different, say, variations of capoeira. The different masters have kind of adapted over time, but at its source, it is a martial art that looks like a dance. It appears like a dance. Um, so there aren't many punches in this martial art. It's mostly focused on kicks, and there aren't any blocks in this martial art either. It is focused on evasion and dodging and avoiding getting hit. Um, and when you train capoeira, the word for it is you play. You play capoeira. Yeah, so it's like a game. So you're playing capoeira with somebody else. And the idea is you might see two people playing capoeira on YouTube or whatever, and they're not hitting each other. And that's kind of the point of the game. You're not supposed to pummel your opponent. You're supposed to help your opponent to avoid getting pummeled. That's the intention of the game. Yeah. So um, the idea was to help fellow enslaved Africans learn how to avoid getting beaten, how to avoid or how to roll with a punch. How to dodge, how to like create distance between themselves and an attacker until they eventually were able to escape. So that is encoded into the martial art of capoeira. That is encoded into it, which I think is very dope. Honestly, I really like the fact that there's history encoded into the movements. There's not many punches because the hands were shackled. Yeah, so because the hands were shackled, they had to just protect the face, protect the face, protect the face, protect the face. You know, um, and yeah, it's mostly kind of like again avoiding, dodging, and kicks to kind of push people back,
Mm.
or you know, um, to take someone down. Take them down and then roll away. That's kind of the energy behind capoeira.
Right.
It can, of course, be used offensively. Of course, it can be used offensively. In fact, capoeira got to a point where there were assassins, like some noteworthy assassins whose names I can't tell you at the minute. Um, but they were employed as assassins. They were capoeiristas, and they were deadly. So it definitely can be used offensively. Um, Another probably more notable, maybe not notable, but another more obvious example. If anyone watching has played Tekken, then Eddie
Yeah.
Gordo in Tekken is the guy who does the capoeira. So he's there dancing, the Brazilian martial art guy. That is capoeira. It looks like a dance. On a plantation, you can't be training martial arts, so they had to play capoeira with each other. They would The spirit of capoeira, because of the way that it is like a dance, is there are different roles. So everyone stands in a circle, which is called a roda. Yeah.
Uh,
And which I guess roda is just the Portuguese word for circle, I presume. I'm not sure. But everyone stands in a circle and they all clap. And then someone will play the berimbau, bow, dang daka daka dang, and then someone will play the drum, dum kutu kutu kum, dum kutu kutu kum. And then the two in the middle will be dancing with each other and training each other and doing whatever and helping each other. And then when one of them is exhausted, somebody from the crowd, from the circle, someone who's clapping, wait, let me come in. Someone who's clapping will put their hand in and say, "Let me join." Yeah, and they'll kind of jump in. They'll excuse one person and they'll jump in and train with the other person. And then when the other person is exhausted, another person will come in and train with the second person, and it keeps on rotating like that.
mm.
Um, so Capoeira's got a beautiful culture associated with it. The communities that are formed like around Capoeira, even to this day, I think are testament to how powerful it is to how beautiful it is. Um, but I think one of the most impressive things is, its story of how it survived slavery, of how it, you know, went through slavery, of how it supported us, our African brothers and sisters who were enslaved, and how it helped free so many of us, and empowered how it empowered so many of us. So once certain members had freed themselves from slavery using capoeira, they would head to villages, little villages called like a Colombo, um, which is just like say like a little guerrilla type of village of
Maroon,
capoeiristas who were, say again,
maroon community.
a maroon community. Exactly,
Yeah.
that's a much better word. Thank you. Exactly that, like a community of just like warriors, and not all warriors, obviously young, like children, like people who needed to be protected were there as well. But that was the spirit of the village. Yeah. So um, one of these villages in particular, Colombo dos Palmares, um, is probably the most famous of all of them. And that is because of its leaders who were Zumbi and Dandara. And some of the acclaim that they brought because they expanded it so much and it was notorious. They were undefeatable. People tried to, they tried to attack and they were driven back pretty much every time. So that one in particular has a special place in the history of capoeira. So like anyone who studies capoeira now has to learn the name of Zumbi, now has to know the song about Dandara, now has to know the song about, because that one they did well. Do you know what I'm saying? They really like brought it to us. We wouldn't have it in the way that we have it if not for the way that they moved. So but there are a long list of masters whose names deserve recognition. Um, when when I was doing capoeira, I found that a lot of the advanced students would name themselves after the masters. Giles said the same thing. It's a shame she's not here today, but she said the same thing. She said that there are some people in her capoeira class who have named themselves Dandara. You know, um, there was one in my class, one of my favorite teachers, who named himself Zumbi. That's even how I know the name Zumbi, because the guy who taught me capoeira, his name was Zumbi. That wasn't his real name, but that's what we called him, Zumbi. That's it. You know. Um, there was another one called Molina. There were a few of them still, but yes, that's I guess the framework that I've got for today's conversation.
Amazing. And so the one that you named, it was the biggest one, wasn't it? That Columbo, the
Dos
20
Palmeiras, yeah.
Dos Palmares.
25,000 people that were in that collective. I think that's the number I've seen, 20,000, between 20,000 and 25,000 people that had escaped enslavement and
Wow.
made up that community. So it was they were a force.
And you had the other
Wow.
one was Gangda Zumba.
Okay.
You come
Gango
across
Zumba. Gango
Gang,
Zumba, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was around
Gangs.
the time.
Okay.
And there was, I don't know, you're gonna get into this point at some point, I'm sure, like where there's contention between like Zumbi and Dandara are more they're more like
Mhm.
they're like zero compromise. Whereas Ganda Zumba, you reach the point of compromising with the Portuguese.
Right. Okay.
So Zumbi and Dandara are like bun slavery, period. Like
Yeah.
it's over, done. Like whereas Zumba was more like, well, if you ease the pressure here, like he was more willing to acquiesce. So Palmeiras was had different rulers. It wasn't just one that ruled over the entire bit. It was different, and Zumba was one, and Zumbi was another.
So I don't know if you caught the movie that was posted in the group chat, the Colombo movie.
But sort of,
I feel like that's. No, not Besoro. The other one is called Columbo.
Okay, no.
That one I think did a it. It did seem a little bit whitewashed. I'm not gonna lie. You know, some of the facts were a little bit felt a bit weird to me, but I feel like it did do a good job of explaining that relationship. So Zumba was first. Yeah, he was the one who I don't know if he's the one who founded Colombo dos Palmares, or if he's the one who's responsible for expanding it as much as it expanded. But like you said, he compromised with the Portuguese, and that didn't work out. And Zumbi was the one who replaced him.
Oh,
So
okay.
Zumbi was the one who kind of, yeah, Zumbi was the one who basically like took over from him, and like the people, the people were like, what Zumba is doing, that he's going with the Portuguese. They were kind of uncertain. Some of them were like, no, we're going to stick with him no matter what. He will always be the ruler, rare, tear, tear, because of all the amazing things that he did, you know. Um, but others were like, no, he's kind of falling off. He's getting a bit old. He's moving a bit mad. And Zumbi had this like young energy where he was like, boom, like you said, no compromise. Yeah, he was energetic. He was ready to fight. He was ready to fight. Where Zumba was thinking, how can I, where can we get peace? How can I make peace? But there's no peace to be had with the devil. There's no peace at all to be had with them. And
Mm.
that was a lesson that Zumba had to learn, unfortunately, the hard way.
Like Toussaint.
Um, like Toussaint, exactly like Toussaint.
Mm.
Yeah, but
And
they were within the same time period. But I think Zumba was the predecessor, and Zumbi came after him. But they
yeah,
were like alive together. Do you know what I'm saying? They were around at the same time.
Okay.
yeah, you're right, you're right. And then just looking at it now, actually, the founder was Aqua Tune. I'm mashing up these names, man. Aqua Tune. I think she is Ganga Zumba's mother.
Oh wow.
Mm, okay. See, I didn't catch that. That's not a name I've heard before.
Aqua Aqualtune. Aqualtune.
Where's the Portuguese? Sister Shirley, can you help us with Portuguese? Are we saying it right? Aqua Tune.
I'm really not sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I'm very sorry, but I'm not versed in the Spanish as much as I should be. But keep going.
Aqua Tune. Aqua Tune. But anyway,
Aqualtune.
yeah,
Mm,
she's the mother, and she's said to have led a force of 10,000 Congo men and women. So Kingdom of Congo. This is what I'll ask you about, Nate. Actually, Kingdom of Congo, obviously, as we know, encompassed what we now know as Angola, as well as Congo, Brazzaville, DRC, and Gabon. And from my like distant memory, some of what Capoeira is today was drawn from there. I don't know if you can speak on
yeah.
like that history as well.
Yeah.
Or
Capoeira. It wasn't invented during slavery. Yeah. It wasn't like even though they've got like there's a correlation between the two, it wasn't invented during slavery. So it predates slavery. It's even a mixture of different martial arts from what I was told. Um, there's one, and I keep forgetting the name, and I wanted to look it up before today's live, but they use two sticks. They use two sticks, and they pop, 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 and that is like a predecessor to capoeira. Um, and there's like a few different. I think they even use that one in Kemet, that one with the sticks that pop, pop, pop. So there's a few different martial arts that that like came together. But but yeah, like I said, there are different studies of capoeira. Um, so one of the oldest is called Capoeira Angola. Yeah, that is what it's called. So like I think there's the two biggest ones that I know of are Capoeira. I think it's Capoeira Regional and Capoeira Angola. So Capoeira Regional is probably the main one that everybody sees, where everyone is doing backflips and jumping everywhere and jumping in the air and kicking 5 times and doing hand and whatever. Whereas Capoeira Angola is considerably slower and is practiced more slowly. Um, and it involves being very low to the ground and like being in a confined space. So like if you're like when we practice capoeira, you normally practice with a chair. Yeah, you got a chair and you have to kick over the chair, you have to jump over
Yeah.
the chair, you have to cartwheel around the chair, whatever. But when you're doing capoeira Angola, um, like let's say a part of your body is touching the chair at all times, just for kind of an idea of how close you have to be. You know, you have to be close, and you're like moving as one together. Do you know what I'm saying? As you're kind of with the other person, you're like going underneath them, and they're going over you, and then you kind of slide through each other, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So capoeira Angola is very the moves are a lot slower. There's not as much bursts of energy of like jumping up and jump and land on your hands and swing around. Obviously, you can do that once you're a master, you know. But there's a distinction to be made apparently between the two.
Okay, I didn't know that because the one I mostly see is that closeness and the low movement, but I didn't really
Oh, is
know.
it?
Yeah, and because today when I was doing my cramming and short research, there was a video that someone posted in the group, and it was showing them talking about the history of. It was made 15 years ago. The history of it in the country today, because obviously it's still very popular in Brazil now, especially amongst the Afro Brazilians. So but energetically, they were doing all sorts, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like I've not seen that kind of
Mm,
era before. But all the headstands and the flips
mm,
and they were all training. Literally, it looked like proper like a martial art, not more of the dance, which is what I more associate it with, and the little tiny bit that I've
got
kind
it.
of done. It's been very low and very like partner based like work, and that rhythm, the rhythm
Mm,
to kind of get into it with each other. That's what I kind of know from it.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, interesting.
So, quick note, what I was saying about Alcatoon. She was the first. She was actually
Okay.
I think she was the first, or she's regarded as the first. And then she had two sons, which was one was Ganga Zumba and Ghana Zona,
Oh, that's
and
who Dominic just mentioned as well.
a daughter as well. So the um, daughter is the one who had Zumbi. Zumbi, therefore, is
Ah,
the nephew of um,
Oh, so they're
Zumba.
literally related.
They're literally related.
Okay.
wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. Okay. And Dandara's come from outside, I'm presuming. I think actually Dandara was raised in Columbo dos Palmares. That's something that I caught this month that I didn't know. So she wasn't someone who was like born into slavery and escaped. She was someone who was born into the Colombo and raised in it.
Oh,
That
okay.
was something that I caught. Yeah, so that was an interesting insight.
Very, very interesting. Um,
Hmm.
and rare actually. Like, okay, so no one we've
Which
studied so
shows you
far
how
is
old
like that.
the Kalimbo
No one
communities
studied.
were.
No one we studied that as was like born into a independent community, right?
Hmm. I don't think so.
Matter of fact, do we know of anybody who was born into an African maroon community?
Um,
Hmm. I don't
no.
think we have studied anyone that was. You're right. I don't think we have actually. No one that's come into mind
Hmm.
um, that was born into like a revolutionary community. You know, like
Mm.
Shakara, born and raised. You know what I mean, of the soil. Like, I don't think we've actually really touched on any revolutionaries that were. If we have and I've forgotten, then I apologize for them. But I don't think so. Not so
Mhm.
far. So yeah, that is significant. You know.
Very.
I think that's probably. what my piece would kind of be touching on, actually, because I heard you were saying what your piece would be on earlier, Stella. I feel like this is one thing that mine will probably draw from, is that like is the way she was fighting to protect her home, is the
Yeah.
way she was fighting to protect her people, is the way she was fighting to protect like her culture, is the things that she was fighting to protect, the love that she had. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the cause of her passion, and I guess the way we can keep that in our community, you know, and like fight against injustice or support our people in, you know, protect protect our neighbors. How are we protecting each other? Are we protecting each other? Are we protecting each other spiritually? Are we protecting each other physically? Do you know what I mean? I guess that's probably a parallel that I'd be thinking to draw.
Right.
It's
In
dope.
terms of your poetry.
Yeah, that was a part of the line I was thinking of going down in terms of my piece. Yeah.
It's a good one as well because basically, I just the imagination. Like we're not born into that. We're not like Shakara, but he's in London and still has the greater society. But to be born into like a revolutionary community that is self-governing, because
Mm,
that's what the Columbus was. It was completely self-governing. These are like we're talking about a king and queen here.
mm,
Like
Yeah.
Zumbi is a king
mm,
and Dandara is actually a queen.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
and that dynamic is must be so and it's deep because we're so separated by like language, for example. So even though really and truly when it comes to the diaspora, um, Brazil has the most of us outside of Africa, like the
mm.
most Africans
Yes. Yeah. I
than
think
I
anywhere
heard
else.
that was India. I heard that was India. I heard that was
no.
India.
I,
In my Black History Studies class with Mark
yeah.
Simpson, he said India has the most Black African people outside of Africa, and the reason that we don't, it's not counted on the census because they have the untouchables and the caste system in India. A lot
Yeah.
of them are not counted on the census, but
Oh,
apparently that is the
you
largest
mean
amount. India,
India.
you mean dark skinned, but not Afro.
Black people.
No. I know they exist, but I had no what. So what? Because you know in Brazil, yeah, is we're talking about
I
over.
know Brazil's got better.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's more than 100 million.
Wow.
This is what Mark Simpson said. We call that Mark Simpson, yeah, Mark.
Well, talking of Mark Simpson, we've got on our show tuned in none other than
All the way from the Gambia.
Guam Papa G
Hey, go
in the
on, Papa
house.
G.
Yes, we
Come
give
on, go on, Papa G. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. In the place to be.
shout out, yeah, Sankofa Estate in a completely different environment to us right now.
Actually, building the very
Man.
Columbus in Africa.
The Columbo in Africa, innit? Exactly. Exactly. That
Yeah.
is the very community that we need to create our Dandaras and our zombies. You know, we need that community that Papa G is creating, man. I'm telling you. One of my friends just went up there and she brought back some videos of some of the work they're doing, and it's just so dope. Honestly, we are so proud of what this man is doing in our community. We've got nothing but praise for this brother. Like, I mean, that has always been, as long as I've been around, Papa G's been a G, you know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah.
what he's doing right now is filling my heart. So I love to see it. 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 Long may it
Don't
continue.
worry,
Long live Papa
there
G. Yeah,
soon.
man.
There soon. Don't worry. Just keep going. You'll be there
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, listen, I don't even. I won't be coming back. Yeah, me. I'm
You're
gonna
always
be sending you know those videos that Papa G's there posting where he's walking through. He's like, yeah, he's putting at the pool, and you know, he's talking. What?
there like
Yeah, man, that's gonna be me.
so yeah, big up and to everyone in the chat, thank you for your presence. We see you, we hear you. Got different comments there. Just shout out to everybody that's online. We welcome you. And yeah, so
Mm.
we want to get stuck in. Let's get stuck into Dandara, like any kind of juicy information that we have discovered. Um I did think it's interesting that it was such a huge community of 25,000. That's a full on township. That's a whole, you know, that's a more than a community. That's a whole functioning
Well,
city
this is
almost.
what I was going to say to
Mm.
I'm gonna do my research into that about the India thing because that's blown my mind.
That's blown my mind.
But
as
yeah,
well.
what I know is that Brazil, like, until Mark Simpson comes up with a source, talk about a source. Brazil has got the most amount of us. Like, there's so much, and we spend a lot of attention in like United States of America. That's where a lot of as if they have got the most. It's almost have they, but I know they're English speaking, and so we connect with them, and like based upon that. But you've got a whole country there, Brazil, and we know like the police brutality there is a whole nother level. Like it's
Oh, it's crazy. Oh, it's barbaric.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
and what do you call it? What do they call it? The hood. What's the hood in Brazil?
Mm.
The
The
favelas.
favelas. Yeah, the
The
favelas.
favelas, the favelas.
Favelas. And so we know like what they've done there, and I guess in the last 15 years, there's been a rise in consciousness, as far as I'm aware, anyway, where people are more embracing their African selves in Brazil. So there's a lot of people talking out.
Mm.
This website. I was following this website years ago called something about like celebrating African Brazilians. If I find it, I'll share it. But like, and they were telling stories. Their stories of like modern, but also historical as well. That could have been the place where I found out about Dandara actually originally.
Okay.
That could have been the place. But I know there's a need for us. I feel like there's a need for us to connect
Wow.
with our African Brazilian, the South. Like it's not just Brazilian, but they've got Colombia as well, and their stories
Mm.
are with the Colombos. Their stories are more empowering. It's because they have those communities. And the thing with Zumbi,
Mm.
that as far as I'm aware, they kind of like the Portuguese got them done. It was over. Dandara committed
Mm.
suicide. It was over. But I'm like 90% certain that there's other Quilombos that didn't get defeated.
Right.
Kind of like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
you come across them, Nate.
I know, but I'm confident that there are. Sorry, I'm agreeing with that. I don't know. I don't know the names of any, but I mean that Columbo dos Palmares was the biggest. It was the
Yeah,
most known. So, but the spirit of it is that they were normally not 25,000 strong. Like Dos Palmares was an exception because of how much it grew, because of the influence it had, because of etc. etc. But normally, I'm sure there are plenty more than just that one
Yeah.
that survived. Yeah,
Yeah. It
I'm,
is
I'm
definitely.
hoping. I'm hoping.
No,
oh,
you're both right
I'm
because
90% certain.
it was the way it was described. Because
Yeah.
that's the question I actually had, but they did describe it as one of them.
Yeah,
It was the name of them.
yeah.
So there's more than that one.
There were
Yeah, for
several,
sure.
but it's the the typical like the one that is most out there is the one where it ends by European force, isn't it?
Mm,
So
True and
mm,
good point. So yeah, you wouldn't hear about the ones that actually did carry on and thrived, and that means there's a long line of people to today probably still directly linked through bloodline to
yeah,
these people that were those warriors. So yeah, makes sense.
mm.
JL's just come. JL, you might as well come
Yay!
up.
Where is she?
Hey, JL's in the building.
Got the link. We're seeing her.
You
Oh,
can
okay.
JL come up.
Let me see if she's got the link.
Ah, she's saying yes, it
She
was.
must be. She's in the group chat, fam.
Yes, it was. I believe Palomares is the most famous one because of the story of Dandara and Zumbi. But dot dot dot. Oh, okay,
Mm.
coming. All right, she's coming.
Yay! Come on, help us
Come
out.
on. Come on. Back, 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 back. Yeah, look, Anthony's saying there are many other Colombos, as many as 50 or 60. That sounds like what I've heard, That sounds like what I'm hearing. There's plenty of them. But as for Anthony, if you know, as for whether or not any survived, that was kind of our question. As for like whether or not any of them, because we know like obviously Dos Palmares was destroyed. But as for whether or not any of the other 50 or 60, I mean, they must have, right? They can't have like all been destroyed. I think it's kind of like what we were talking about last month with the Kenya Land Freedom Army and how they had different. They were much smaller, but they had in the forest. Yeah, they had different camps, and one man didn't know the location of all of the camps. Yeah, that one was dotted here, one was dotted there, one was dotted there, one was dotted there. Like one man didn't know the end of like all of them.
Mm.
Um, so I feel like it's kind of the same. That I can't imagine that everyone would have known all 50 of them. Do you know what I mean? That anybody would have been like, boom, here's a map of all the Colombos. It wasn't like that. They were hidden. They
Yeah,
were
exactly.
hiding. They were
Yeah.
escaped. Do you know what I mean? They were like going out of their way to not be found. So,
And it really makes it clear why that's a issue that needs to be hidden, because that narrative of us just being like, oh, we need to be freed,
Yeah.
really gets defeated.
yeah,
Because look how many free people freed
took
themselves.
freedom for themselves. Took
Right?
freedom for themselves.
50,
Exactly.
60 is a big amount of people. Do you know what I mean? A
Right.
big amount of camps. Sorry, that's a lot.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Hmm.
that's why really, really hidden history there. Um, yeah. So yeah, I think.
And I guess no, but it's a really good point, Stella, because I feel like that is something empowering that we can take from this. I find that with this revolutionary mind journey that we're on,
Mm,
some of the stories, they don't always have happy endings. It can be a bit heavy. It can be a bit like, oh, we're learning about slavery again, and like the white people come and this one's committed suicide, and they've shot up that one, and it's not always nice to hear um, that our people were oppressed, and then when they fought back, they were killed. The end. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's not always nice to hear. So I think it is empowering to note that there were a large amount of Africans who took freedom for themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? Through this method of creating Colombos and defeating the colonizers and holding them at bay. Yeah, large amounts. And we know their story because of Dandara and Zumbi. We know their story, yeah, because they elevated the thing to a massive scale. But even without them, it's like Black Pound Day, yeah, as a completely off the cuff example, but Black Pound Day is nationally known, even internationally known. It's massive. But people have been buying black from long before Black Pound Day existed, and long after Black Pound Day. Do you know what I mean? People have been like supporting black businesses, and Auntie Jean's Market's been running. Auntie Jean's Market might not have like international branding the same way Black Pound Day does. So you might hear about Black Pound Day, and even if Black Pound Day something goes wrong, the British government puts a cancel on it or whatever, who knows, yeah? Like that doesn't change the fact that the spirit exists and
yeah.
the methodology exists, and that's something that we're able to really see through this story. This is what I'm saying about like who Dandara was. She was fighting for that culture. She was fighting for that belief. The fact that she knew that they were able to stand and fight and win. They were able to live in harmony together. They were able to drive out the Portuguese. They were able to, like yeah, man, they were able to handle it until obviously it got a bit heavy for them, I guess. And but
Yeah, and
outside of that,
yeah.
mhm. So what's this saying? Kimbunga in the Brazilian government land ownership rights to existing Columbo. Oh, look at that! In 1988, the Brazilian government granted land ownership rights
Hey,
to the
greetings. Can you hear
existing
me?
Colombo community. Big
Hey,
up,
you're,
Anthony.
you're familiar.
Hey,
Yay!
Joe.
Peace, Jairo. Good to
Greetings,
Yes,
see you,
greetings,
sis.
everyone. All praises. So sorry,
Love,
I'm
love,
joining only now
love.
because I was at the theater, so I forgot
Oh, that's good.
That's
to
fine,
attend.
man.
You're forgiven
I
because
was
you're
just,
Thank you
here.
for joining.
yes, I'm here,
We
live
called
and
your name.
direct
We
in
called
my
your name so
Twitter.
many times.
I'm
Had to be
not
right.
gonna say who, but me and you were getting cussed out because we are the ones that came up with that Dara, and I was like, man, I ain't got no verse, and it was like, where's Janelle? Because we both came up with it. So good
Well,
cast.
the thing is that for me, I didn't know that I would have to partake in the live. I was like, maybe I'm just gonna join and listen to the people. But now I'm here. I'm here. But now I was trying to
Mhm.
get to what you was talking about the biggest Quilombo being Palmares and probably other Quilombos that existed. I truly believe it's true. I believe it's true, but I believe Palmares, the Quilombo of Palmares, was the one the most spoken about because of the story between Zumbi and Dandara. But it's also because they don't like to talk about our wins, isn't it? So most of the time, when when we're gonna say that yes, some Quilombo managed to actually mash up the slave owners and the whole slave plantation, people are not gonna like to speak about it, and it's probably gonna be maybe stories that you might hear about if you go to Brazil, if you go to this village and this village, and then you will hear the history behind it. But it's not something that they're gonna be teaching, especially to us people of the diaspora.
Exactly.
It might just inspire us, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, but if we not, well, yeah, if we think about it, it's like it's not possible that we had all of these slave plantations and the slaves were just there listening, not doing anything. I don't believe that this would have happened, and I truly believe that probably a lot of Quilombo and type of maroon village kind of existed there and actually did something against the slavery system and brutality that they did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nate, you were reading out the what Anthony was saying before jail came on.
Yes, yeah, it's still on the screen. He said in 1988, the Brazilian government granted land ownership rights to the existing Colombo communities, which is dope, which is excellent. So yeah, they granted land ownership rights to the communities, so plenty of them, I'm guessing, survived of the 50 and 60 that Anthony was talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like that shows. That shows. And the
Hmm.
reason why I think they would have done that is a strategy to absolve them into the new system, rather than them operating self sufficiently. It's
As the Maroons do now today, they still self-sufficient
in Jamaica.
in Jamaica.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah,
But
they are.
weird peace treaty that I don't know. When you dig into it, it's like
It's just making me think about the size of things as well, and like narrative is everything because it's such a huge um number of people. Clearly that we're talking about 50 to 60 communities of, okay, what, let's say the smallest is from in the hundreds, and then you've got
Mm,
going up into the thousands, and you've got the massive one of 25,000. So you're talking huge numbers of communities. This whole, they granted them the permission, or they gave them, we say, yeah, it's okay, or this or that. What about the ones that are still there who don't ramp with the officials? I'm sure they exist.
mm.
These the places are so mountainous. They're so um, lush green, the rainforests and all these areas where people can't necessarily
They've
penetrate.
got they've got
So
all the food that they need. They've got all the medicine that they need. They've got each other. So
and,
yeah, they don't need permission. I'm sure.
mm.
yeah. So Nate, did you want to do a chronology of what you know about Dandara?
Not today. I haven't got a chronology for this one.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's really been difficult. I honestly, like, jail. I don't know if there's any more facts that but it's been so hard to kind of get some things that's obscure. Like, normally we always find out some obscure information about whoever we're studying, but it's been difficult. It's kind of this blanket information
Yeah,
about,
blanket.
yeah, about like the fact that yes, they were married, they had 3 children. I think I saw that somewhere. So then I'm thinking, where are these children? Like, who were they and who did they become? Um,
Mm.
and then she apparently, okay, her death, to talk on it, in six what did I read, 1694 or something like that.
Yes, that's correct.
She died and apparently refused, because eventually the colonial people, they won, not won, but they kind of, not won, but they basically, they wanted a treaty, they wanted to sign a peace treaty, to say that or whatnot, and then she refused. Basically, she was like, I'm not going to go back into enslavement, and she killed herself. by jumping over the cliff.
Mm.
The story is one of the stories, but there's various versions. There's like different things that people say happened. But yeah, I don't know if there's any information that you have regarding that. Anybody?
What are you saying, Gerald? Have you got anything you can contribute for this one?
Yeah, well, it's
Or
like
I know you're out and about.
roller coaster. Is this Uber driver okay? He's like,
Throwing
I'm
you around
out.
a bit, innit?
I'm
I know
out.
it is.
I'm out. Sorry. Yeah, personally, I don't have a lot of information except the thing that I have found online. So it's not more than you guys.
What we
And
said,
I had
yeah.
found few books about her, but it's all written in Brazilian. So the
yeah.
only thing that I could do was to ask some people who might know more, who are from Brazil, in the Capoeira community and who live in London now. And I've asked a couple of them, one from Peru and one from Brazil, to attend Auntie Jean. And hopefully they're gonna be able to give us a little, back history of this. But they couldn't come on the live, obviously. And so yeah, I hope that this is gonna happen on Sunday at Auntie Jean.
Oh, that'd
But
be.
I
as
hope so.
I apologize, I know Nate, I asked for Dandara to be discussed, but I don't have as much information as it was hard. It was hard to find the information. I promise you, so hard.
I know.
So
Same,
hard.
same. I found it difficult. Hey, I've got no complaints because she's someone who deserves to be acknowledged, you know. She's someone who deserves to be like honored, and I'm glad to be honoring her. But I agree, I found it so difficult to find information about her. And like I said earlier, I feel like the best way is to ask the community. And because I haven't really been in the capoeira community for like a long time, I don't really have as many connects, you know, to ask as I would have like 20 years ago. You know, I could have asked I could have asked Zumbi, I could have asked like the teacher, I could have asked, you know, somebody, and they would have all, like, everybody was studying it, everybody had different resources, but I haven't been in the community. I've been practicing by myself in the park, you know,
Oh,
so I haven't really got anything to like, other than what is the blanket information that we've kind of got available to us today. Which is why I said, like I said, for me, what has stood out for me this month, the point I have taken away is the spirit, yeah, is not so much the chronological details of what happened, you know, like I've more caught the spirit of, like, the fact that she was fighting for her community, the fact that she would rather die than go back to slavery, the fact that, you know, she was like equal to her husband, yeah, the fact that she was like a skilled martial artist, a magnificent leader, you know, the fact that she has songs sung about her to this day, you know, like all of that. That's kind of, it's the spirit that I'm taking. The fact that she was fighting what she was fighting for, you know, I feel like is something that we can really tap into in terms of like just reminding ourselves that we are on the same mission, that, you know, we are fighting for each other, that I am fighting for you guys. Do you know what I'm saying? That you guys are fighting for me. Yeah, that we are standing shoulder to shoulder, and we are like, um, we're seeing stuff happen in the news, like policeman kills Chris Cabba or whatever, you know, and like we're standing together and we are facing off against an oppressive force, and it's a different situation, yeah, because we're not physically enslaved, but we are definitely not out of the clutches of colonialism, not by any stretch of the imagination. You know, we live in London, we live in England. You know what I'm saying? So not by any stretch of the imagination are we out of the clutches of colonialism. So if you're not with colonialism, then you're against it, you know? And me and you are not with it. So we're standing shoulder to shoulder with each other, and we must protect each other spiritually, even if not physically. You know, even if I don't have to jump in front of a whip for you, like, we still have to, I don't know, we still got to look out for each other. We still got to carry that same love for each other, that same community that Dandara was promoting. I think that energy that she carried there is the energy that I've taken this month. That's my main thing, really.
mm. And that's one that you'll get 100% at Auntie Jean's on Sunday. So make
Hmm.
sure you get yourselves down to Auntie Jean's, everybody. that is watching. Auntie Jean's
Boom.
African market is community, it is family, it is shared resources, it's love, it's connection, it's everything. So that's a nice segue into that, what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I do think what I took away as well is just the importance of really shouting out the female story, the woman's story. Nat was saying that they were essentially a power couple, so they should have been coming as a pair. So to actually wipe her out of the storytelling from this point of view, as in from the West, because I think she's big, she's really big in Brazil, and the reason I know that is there's like a couple of games. There's actual games made about her, not about her, but using the story and her background of this African warrior woman. So there's an actual game that you guys can actually find on Play Store called Dandara, and they based it on her, principally on her story. So we got to be careful that we don't allow our female heroes to be forgotten. So big up for the fact that we do 6 and 6, making sure that we honor the women as well within this revolutionized journey. Because imagine being that big and the partner of someone that huge, and like
It's
no
mad.
one still talks about you,
It's
or there's less information.
It's deep, and there's this to that you're absolutely right in terms of like us doing the work, because you go on Zombies Wikipedia, for example, and Dandara is not mentioned. Like, she's supposed to be, you know, that if you go on Charles's Wikipedia, you're gonna see Camilla.
Right. Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're not gonna see Camilla.
Yeah, they always do it. Like, also look into blah blah.
Yeah, along
Yeah.
the side,
Yeah.
spouse of da 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 da. Like,
Wow.
it's deep. And I was saying to before I say that, actually, Nate, you made some great points actually just then, yeah, about us, the way we're supposed to move, and this is the spirit of Dandara and learning it as you've gained that I guess it's stuff you already know, but it's just emphasized like what that meant, and I feel it's something so key to say, because this society that we're in, there's so much done to drive us apart. The energy is there to drive us apart. So it's such a good point. I was going to say that the spiritual aspect of it. This is not mentioned in Dandara's Wikipedia or whatnot, but in Zombies, he was. They knew him of Orisha, and in fact, it was, a myth was a myth. Probably, like they say, myth. He gained his strength from the Orishas.
Okay.
Ogun. Yeah.
Ogun specifically, he gained his strength. So I'm like, that leads me to, I'm 99.9% certain.
That was Yoruba.
Not that, I wasn't going to say that, because they were all mixed together in it. Yoruba, Congolese, Kingdom of Congo, they're all. But I was going to say that Dandara would have been connected to the Orishas too.
Yeah.
And would have gained her strength from there
Good
as well.
point. Good point. Excellent point.
So,
Excellent point. You know, that's something that they covered in the movie. The movie that we watched, yeah, the Columbo movie. That's something they covered. So Gungo Zumba first had the spirit of Ogun, and then when he started to get a bit passive, or when he started to work with the or kind of, like, negotiate, he even says the spirit of Ogun has left me. He looks around and he's like, yeah, he's like, Ogun, the spirit of Ogun has left me. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Nice.
then you can see that Zumbi takes up that spirit of Ogun. And everyone rallies around him, and they're like, "This is the guy." That's what I remember when I was like, "He's got that young, fresh, vibrant, ready to battle energy." Like, that was really portrayed well in that movie. Well, actually, I don't want to say it's portrayed well, but it was portrayed. It was definitely it was definitely covered. It was definitely covered. Worth checking out. If you guys haven't seen it, like, watch it today, tomorrow. I would
Okay.
say it's worth watching. For anyone who's watching now, it's on YouTube, and it's just called Columbo. Columbo. And it's
Quilombo.
probably like an hour and a half long.
Yeah. Let me
Thank
spell
you.
it. Yeah. Okay. And
Definitely worth checking out, man.
I'm just putting it up in the comments. But
There were a couple bits where I thought, this feels a bit whitewashed, this whole movie. But I guess it's Hollywood. I don't know, so it's not like Bezudo. Bezudo, as that Bezudo's a classic. Bezudo is like from the people, as I understand it. Bezudo is from the people. Bezudo is not like from Hollywood. Whereas
okay,
Columbo is felt a little bit more Hollywood to me. Still, there was very white energy behind it.
Right. So then, yeah, it's gonna be, yeah.
But they covered a lot of good stuff in there, man. They did. They covered a lot of good stuff in there. I feel like they represented. There were a few things like Dandara was Zumbi's auntie in that movie, which I've not heard anywhere else other than that movie. I've not heard that everywhere else I have looked. Dandara is Zumbi's wife, but in
Yeah.
that movie, she was his auntie, and I was like, I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know where you got that from, still.
oh,
But that was the most glaringly obvious weird thing about it. Everything else was comparatively minor.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give
Yeah.
it a go. Yeah, that's a good tip because it's movies are always the best way to kind of absorb for me. Like I know it's good to definitely good, great and important to read, but sometimes when you are an experiential learner or visual learner, or you like being told stories and stuff like that, films are such a fantastic tool for
Mm.
learning history. I really really do value them, so I will check it out and use that.
Mm.
And there was one more point I wanted to make regarding um, the Empress Dandara, which was because I don't think anyone's got any poetry today right now. Has it? Have you got poetry, Nate?
I'm pretty sure Jael has a piece, but she's gone. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure Jael has a piece, and
she.
her daughter as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's amazing. Okay, so I was gonna say, well, it's gone. It's okay. It's okay because we don't want too much dead space on live. So I think that's as far as we can take the conversation. Do we in agreement?
Yep.
Or
Perfectly happy with that. Perfectly happy with that.
yeah,
I would yeah, I would probably wrap up by saying the same thing I say each month to anybody who's watching, because I know Kimbunga is an international platform. So to anyone who's watching this and you can't make it to Auntie Jean's Market, because you're not in London or because it's too far, um, then you don't have to study the same revolutionary minds that we're studying. You don't have to do things the same way that we're doing it. But I would definitely recommend. Can't recommend enough that you follow along with this initiative in any way that you can. Take this idea and run with it. Do whatever you want with it. Yeah, take this idea and do whatever you want with it. Like each month, we study a different revolutionary mind and we take it to Auntie Jean's Market and we perform poetry about it. But if you want to, get like a group of friends and pick Thomas Sankara. Start with Thomas Sankara. Because, man, yeah, start with Thomas Sankara. Wow. And just like spend 1 month honoring Thomas Sankara. Like, find a YouTube video of him speaking publicly if you can, or like find a book that somebody's written about him. Just spend a month, do something to learn about him. Hey, look! Hey,
Yeah, very nice.
Stella!
Nice.
It's good to see you!
They are talking
Yeah!
about Dandara. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Dandara! Hey.
I'm on mute, but we are here and we are listening to you.
yeah.
We were just wrapping up, to be fair, Joe. We were giving closing statements. And sorry, go on, Stella.
No, I was going to say, but we're happily. we'll extend the time for you guys if you have some extra contribution, like through word sound, poetry. You have some poetry? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have some poetry?
Oh, you do? Yay! Go on.
Do you want to sing a capoeira song? Yeah. Okay, can you sing our song? Mm, mm, mm. Sing it together? Yeah. Okay, one, two, three. Ahora, ahora esa, ahora esa, ahora esa. Berimbau. Bako. Na. Capoeira. Berimbau. Toko. Every yoga. Berimbau toko. Negra. Berimbau toko. Toko. Every yoga. Bravo! We
Yay!
have some
Guys, you did
poetry
so
ready
well.
for this one, but it's gonna be on Sunday at until 12.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
I
you have
think
to come. You're going to see
I think people need to come so everyone can hear everybody's poetry, and Stella is gonna be my little helper as well.
Hey, what?
Excellent.
That was a fantastic teaser.
Thank you. Thank
What
you.
a fantastic teaser. What a brilliant energy to bring us to this point, man.
Yeah, that was
This is to continue what I was saying. This is the value. Yeah. Like if you who are watching this can take this idea and bring it
Are
into
you
your
finished? You're gonna
communities,
end it now?
yeah.
we are ending it, yes.
No.
Yeah. Oh.
They've
We
been
don't
talking
have to
for a long
if you
time,
wanna
I
if
know.
you have
Okay,
something
we're
to
gonna listen
say,
back to them,
you
okay? No,
know.
they didn't. I didn't read them a story. Ah, okay.
Oh, you
Mom,
want to read us a story?
yeah. Can you read
Okay.
the story with me? When we go upstairs to bed, okay? No, no, not yet. Guys, we're gonna let you close it, yeah? Thank you for
Thank
kindness.
you for the song.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh,
Thank you
but
See
for the
you on
See you
song.
Sunday.
See you, Jail.
big up
See you
to
on
Bye.
Sunday.
Blessed love. How the one? See you. Bye. I love you. Bye.
bye bye.
Bye.
My God.
Thank you. Bye.
Cute. Oh my God. Okay.
I
Um,
want one. No, let me chill. Let me chill out.
yo,
Let me chill out. Let me
he's
chill out. Let me chill
spoke
out.
for all
What?
three of us just then. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. In
Because he was.
it.
I want 10.
In it. In it. In it. Exactly. What? I don't know about 10 actually. I don't know about 10 still. That's you, man, still.
No.
I want,
I'm going to need my hand on that still. Me,
I
I'm
want,
going.
I want a Columbus.
There's
Yeah.
not many ones. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
But yes. So this was what I was saying. Like the value that it will add to your community, to you who are watching this. Yeah. To take this. Stella is not the only young person that has been impacted by this concept. You know, there are other young people that come and write poetry about Harriet Tubman or about Thomas Sankara or about Patrice Lumumba or, you know, about Dedan Kimathi. So, you know, please do take this idea and adapt it to your community. You know, bring, like, I'm saying that on here because I know this is Kimbunga. So when I say your community, I'm talking about our community, you know, but I'm saying your space, your locality. Take this idea, man, take it and build with it, do something with it, spread it around. Like, let's honor our revolutionaries. And even here's something that I was thinking, you know, like we're doing revolutionary minds because that's just how my spirit started, right? But there are plenty of African greats who may not necessarily be considered revolutionaries that are still worth studying. Do you know what I'm saying? There are plenty, yeah, who may you might not think they might not be revolutionaries, but like they might be like a king, you know, a king or a queen of a certain area, and they didn't have to fight against depression, you know, but they were just a good leader, and you know, I think that's still something that's worth, trying to find them, seek them out, learn from their stories, see what you're capable of, see what your like community is about. Like I really feel like that is it's worth doing your due diligence, and not once but consistently, just like every single month, just pick someone each month and take some time. You don't have to like look at us this month. Yeah, none of us barely know anything about Dandara. Even after we've done 1 month of study, the three of us, even the four of us when Gerald came, and five when Shirley was here, we were all like, yeah, we kind of got sort of surface information, but that's fine. No one says that you have to know everything there is to know about this person. No one's asking you to be a professional. No one's, unless someone comes and does a stupid video about you talking about you haven't done your research properly or yappa yappa yappa. No one is asking you to be a professional. Yeah, all we're asking you to do is honor the people who have fought to get us to where we are. All we're asking you to do is respect, is to know their stories, is to say their names. If you don't say their names, then who's going to say it? Do you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? If you don't, people like Dandara will be written out of history. Why is she not on the Wikipedia page? She'll be written out of history. We have to be the ones to make sure that our young people know these names. We have to, you as an adult, have to be the one to find young people in your community and make sure that they are passionate about learning the name Thomas Sankara. Do you know what I'm
mm,
saying? That make sure they're passionate about knowing who that man is and what he did for his area, and how that affects what's going on in the world today. Ibrahim Traore and
yes,
Asimi Goita. And do you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta know, man. You gotta know because big things are going on right now, and I
yeah.
love to be a part of it. I love to see it. But yeah,
Mention,
that's something that I really want to say at the end of each video, man. We have to take this idea and spread it as far as you can. Take it, just talk to someone about it. If you can't do it yourself, tell someone else to do it, or tell someone to come and log into our live next month. You know,
yes,
or
definitely.
get down to Auntie Jean's market. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm finished. I'm gonna stop talking.
No, fun, like I love the passion. But we need to let people
Yeah.
know. And then if you want to just talk a bit about Toure, let's hear a little bit about that. You both have that information actually. It's important.
Mm.
Ibrahim, what's
Oh, you
happening?
mean Ibrahim Traore?
Yeah, what's
Ibrahim
happening?
Traore and the Sahara Alliance. Woo, them man are doing bits. Them man are doing so many good things, man. They're doing so many good things. The three of them, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, have
Yeah,
come together and created something called the Sahel Alliance. Um, and between the three of them, they are really like they're removing colonial forces, and they are boosting independence, economic independence within their nation, within their self. Like Mali recently booted out um, a Canadian gold mining company. Why is Canada mining for gold in Mali? Who do they think they are? You have gold in Canada? Of course you don't. You get me? Of course you don't.
they
Yeah.
do.
Like, oh,
No,
they got gold in Canada. There's
they've
gold. There's
got
a gold
gold in
mine in Canada.
London. It's a deep one because I watched that one that Idris did.
So what are they doing? What are they doing mining gold in
Thieving,
Africa?
they're being their colonial selves. That is what it is. They do actually they produce gold in Canada, and they
Mad.
yeah they had some, but they are the one of the king producers of gold, like in terms of the processing of gold. They have this whole thing that Idris Elba documentary highlighted it to me. I was so shocked.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're the side
Okay. Well.
because they act like they're so good in terms of you think of Canada, you're like, oh, they're a bit better than America. They're just as bad, really, really bad. So yeah, but carry on, sorry.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ibrahim Traore, I guess, is known the most of the three, um, probably because he's carrying on the spirit of Thomas Sankara, and he's in Thomas Sankara's neck of the woods. And I think Burkina Faso is the most populated of the three in the Sahel Alliance. So even though it's the smallest of the three, it's the most populated, which is quite interesting. It's an interesting little thing. Um, but one thing that really I'm loving to see about it, I mean, there's so many things that I'm loving to see about it, but the one thing that's bringing me the most joy, yeah, I feel like between the three of them, they've kind of they've kind of crossed a boundary that no one else has crossed before them in the way that they're standing together. So, like, if for example, I don't know, let's say Patrice Lumumba, yeah, like he got to where he was, and then the Belgians assassinated him and dissolved him in acid, right? But if someone does that to Ibrahim Traore, then the two other nations who are standing next to him, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's, I don't know, it's they're kind of in it together. They're visibly standing shoulder to shoulder, you know.
Yeah.
That's not to say African nations haven't done that before, but not like this. You know,
No,
like this is for our time. Yeah, these men are standing shoulder to shoulder, and if you touch one of them, then you touch all of them, and you can't get away with like any divvy kind of nonsense. You can't get away with like any little like planning a coup and getting someone to overrule and whatever, because they are an alliance. They're a community. So if you're going to plan a coup and another leader's going to come, then that leader's going to have to deal with everybody else in the alliance as well. Do you know what I'm
as
saying? So,
people standing up as well. Remember, they all gathered inside that huge stadium to prove that because they were trying to, the Western authorities and the newspapers and all of that were trying to make it out that this was a coup, a normal coup. Ibrahim Touré's kind of
No, no, you're
dictate.
referring to Niger.
Was that in Niger?
That was Niger. And 25,000 people turned up in the stadium.
Yeah, that was Niger.
Yeah,
That was Niger.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the people are
okay.
standing. The people are standing up as well. So the everyone gathered to show, look, bro, we are all in this. We all are backing what's happening. It's not about no authoritative power coming in to dictate, and you can't tell that story to the rest of the world. They proved it, and they all gathered in that thing peacefully and showed that we want this leadership to take over,
Mm,
lead us.
mm,
The people power,
mm,
which you remember
mm,
with Thomas Sankara, he learned from Che Guevara. Remember, he was very influenced by Che Guevara, and he, believed in the people power, which is the most important way to run things.
mm,
Empowering the people.
mm.
Know that you don't need to wait for Jesus or anyone. You do it. You have to do it. You have to do the work.
We do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great works that are running on the continent at the minute between Papa G and Ibrahim Traore. We're patterned. We've got the
All
thing
right.
set. So
So Burkina
great
Faso.
works that are running on the continent, mum.
We can go to
Mm.
Burkina Faso and we can get to um,
So
Gambia.
Ibrahim Traore is definitely someone that we're going to be putting on our list as one of our revolutionary minds to study. We'll be on this live one day talking about Ibrahim Traore's story in depth. Yeah, but for now we are watching and we are, we're clapping. But he's
And
definitely on the list.
energy, sending positive energy, because sometimes we always go, oh no, this is gonna happen. It's like, no, what about a really good outcome? One where we,
Yeah, yeah. This is it. 100%. I'm feeling really positive about what's going on. I'm feeling really positive about it. I'm telling you, I can't. Yeah, I can't enjoy watching this happen enough. I can't. I'm feeling very positive about that the outcome.
definitely. So yeah, I think just big up to you. Thank you, Nate, for coming through. And
Come on, thank you, Stella. You too.
remember to I just want to shout out Sea with the Sea, the Conversations with the Constellations event run by Nate the Lyricist. So
Mhm.
talk about it.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. So I am, among many other things, I'm also an astrologer. So I have put together a poetry event. Before I put this Revolutionary Minds poetry event together, I have another poetry event called Conversations with the Constellations. You can find it on Instagram, C with the C, because I couldn't fit conversations and constellations into the 30 character limit, fortunately. Otherwise, it'd be typing forever. But C with the C. Each month, all of the performers are of a specific star sign. So, like during Virgo season, all the performers are Virgos. During Capricorn season, which we're in right now, all the performers are Capricorns. So, last 2 weeks ago, we had the Capricorn event, and we had 9 Capricorn poets pull up. There you go. Good. 9 Capricorn poets pull up. And it was dope. It was so good. Honestly, it was my heart was just loved every second of it. I am learning so much on this journey. It's definitely taken a lot of mental real estate. I'm going to say that because the more you study astrology and space and the cosmos, the more you realize that there is a lot more to learn. Um, so yeah, I'm really enjoying this study. I'm looking forward to actually Papa G's got a guest who's going to be talking about astrology, an African perspective on astrology via Zoom in a couple of days. So I am looking forward to that. Going to be logged in. I've bought my ticket. Um, and yeah, would recommend you guys check that out as well. But yes, that's C with the C. In terms of other events that I think are worth mentioning, there's a really good one called Poetic Temple as well. I don't know if you guys want to talk a bit about that one.
Yeah, nice segue. I like that. I like what you did there. So yeah, the other event to talk about is Poetic Temple, which is taking place. The next one is on the 21st, which is next Tuesday, and it's at the Queen of the South pub in Tulse Hill, which is a Black-owned space. And all of us here pride ourselves in always seeking out the Black-owned venues and spaces where we can, because we've got to champion them spaces. So yeah, it's a poetry event, open mic, for all you word connoisseurs, for all you wordsmiths out there, passionate about word sound power. Please come down. Let's see your penmanship. Let's hear it on the mic. Sound it out, even if it's just you need to read it out. It's fine. Okay, it's okay. Share your words. It's like a little cipher we run together. So, every single poet gets to go up a few times, depending on how many people are in the audience. But let's get the place packed out. We need Black-owned venues packed out, and we need to see more of our bodies in there. So get to the Queen of the South next Tuesday. And then the other one will be on the 12th of February, which is at the Africa Centre. Another space that is for us, by us. So yeah, get yourselves to the Africa Centre on the 11th. That one is a themed event. We're looking at Mansa's Gold. Mansa's Gold. So we just had an event that was all about Mansa's Gold. So we had an event that was all about the Afro Futures Now. That was the one that just went. It was a brilliant event. You can check us out on Poetic Temple. Literally type in Poetic Temple on Instagram. You can see the footage from that event. So the next one is Mansa's Gold on the 12th of February. So get your tickets. And shout out to Speak Your Truth. Gosh, we're just disappearing off the screen. So it's like we're just going like this. But yeah, Speak Your Truth is London's first and only, I think, in the UK. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Poetry event that is exclusively for and about the children. So Nate was the lead workshop. It's like a workshop facilitator at the very first launch, and it was brilliant. It was magical. It was magical.
It was really good.
Really advise you to think about sending your children to this event. And yeah, sign up to the waiting list, because it's a small, intimate space. So you will need to sign up to the waiting list and get your child an opportunity to have this experience. It's very unique and it's very life-changing. It's Speak Your Truth, meaning it's giving a voice to the ones that normally don't really have a voice, those arenas. So yeah, that's the other event that I really recommend that everyone should get down to if you have small children aged between 5 and 12, under 12. I think it's under 12 and 5. Yeah, get your children. So,
Yeah, I think it's under 12, yeah.
Just to mention, somebody was asking earlier in the comments, but this is where Auntie Jean's is located on Sunday.
Yeah. Auntie Jean's is at Magdalen Hall Association.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will be there from I think 1 p.m. I think it's 1 or 2
2
to
till
8.
8 p.m.
2 to
2
8
till
p.m.
8. Please don't come at 1.
Yeah, 2 to 8. Unless you want to help.
This particular venue, this particular venue doesn't have wheelchair access, so I
Yeah.
think it's worth mentioning that in
Yeah.
case anyone is listening and wants to come along. Unfortunately, but we are keeping our eyes open. So also, if anyone knows of any other spaces, preferably black-owned spaces that are large enough for the market, then get us and let us know because Auntie Jean's been doing this for 10 years. So yeah, man, we've like gone to a couple different places in that time, and if there's like a space that is black, in fact, there is a space that is black owned, yeah, and there's going to be a launch coming soon, and I do intend on inviting Auntie Jean when I see her on Sunday, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about it as well. But one of my friends, Ellie, from the Black Leadership Project, which I do with like the young people on Wednesdays, she's basically put me onto her sister. I think her sister's name is Stella. She's launching like a space, like a Rastafari space, and it's big enough for the market,
Oh,
and they're
where?
looking for stuff like,
Where?
and they're
Where?
looking for stuff like this. Again, this is also I'm gonna have to get the information and share it with you because I have it, but I just don't have it in my head. But I have it. I have it on my phone, on this phone. So I'd have to close it to answer that question for you. But I'll
Okay.
talk to you about it on Sunday, and hopefully you guys can all make the launch. Because if you can make the launch, then we can all see. I haven't seen it with my own two eyes. I've only been told by my friend. I asked her. I said, "What about Auntie Jean's market?" She said, "Yeah, definitely." So I said, "Cool.
So
Let me come and look and see if I can bring Auntie Jean." You know.
amazing. So thank you. Shout out to Official and Speaks.
Wait, hang on. Before we do
Oh
that,
wait, okay.
like, yeah, want to big up to Anthony
You're
McFell.
not on the screen.
Yeah, big up to Anthony McFell because his contribution was great today. Like contributing from the
Thank
Yeah,
you.
comments.
for real, for real. Yeah, big up, big up, big
I
up, big up.
agree as well.
Definitely. You were
IC3.
here with us.
Thank you. It's appreciated.
It's official.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
of you guys were here with us, man.
thank you.
Okay, so next month, the revolutionary mind that we are studying. Oh, that's my bro. AMD speaks. Stop here. My brother, what? Large at yourself, bro. Come on, man. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Um, yes, next
And it's
month, the revolutionary mind.
not for us.
What are you talking about? We have to shout that out.
Yeah, no, AMD speaks is a G.
Say something real quick about this brother. I think it was our first or second Poetic Temple.
Yeah.
First or second. Like he's one of the very first features of Poetic Temple
AMD is a
in
G. AMD
2019.
say.
I think 2018 or
Hmm.
2019.
2018.
2018. Yeah, he was one of our very first features.
Oh, okay.
You don't know who it is, do you?
No.
Talent!
Aaron Daniel.
Talent!
Aaron
What? Aaron
Daniel!
Daniels. Aaron Daniels.
Big up
Talent!
Aaron Daniel.
What? Big up AMD speaks, man. Hey, listen, check him out on Spotify. He's got stuff on Spotify as well. I got one of the chats on my playlist still, so check him out if you haven't.
Extremely, oh my god, next level poet,
Next
everybody.
level
Like,
poet. Actually, we've got an event for you,
Mhm.
Aaron. I hope you're still listening and give thanks for the £20 because you're the very first person I think that's ever donated to the show. Or
no,
like,
second. I
second.
think we had one before.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a while ago, yeah.
I'll see. Okay,
So, yeah.
second. All right, yeah. Give thanks for the
Biggest
second.
amount.
Yeah, the biggest amount. So give thanks to that. But
Yeah, give thanks for all.
actually, and Nate, yeah, like this. But it's I'm saying it out here, but it's very limited spaces, and we're only going to really choose the ones that are. So basically, we've got an event before the Mansell's Gold at Poetic Temple. The day before, we've got an event called In You and O. And Aaron Daniel, you got the poetry for that.
What?
You've got the
Yeah,
poetry
yeah,
for
yeah, for sure. For
AMD.
sure. For
You got
sure.
the poetry for it. So come through.
Mm.
Let us know. Let us know. I'm gonna message you actually and see if you want to come through. But yeah, Nate, you're coming in it.
Please send me a flyer so that I've got the date and the location and all of that, and I can make sure that it's on my calendar. Because right now you're saying it, and I remember you talking about it, but it seems to be a lot closer than I anticipated. So send me the info so I can make sure I have it. But yeah, the intention is set. I've been intending on being there for how long? So if it's already saved on my calendar, excellent. And if it's not already saved on my calendar, then I'll make sure it is after today's conversation.
Okay, cool. There's no flyer. It's at Soho House, basically, and we can have a certain amount of guests. We've got 10 guests, basically.
Got it. Okay.
I'll give you the details anyway.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of like the date and time and date specific and location, those three bits, that's what I need mainly.
All right. Okay, cool. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, everyone that tuned in. We will see you on Sunday, all of you. And even if you're in another
Can I
country,
just
travel on a plane and get down to Auntie Jean's African Culture Market. There's no, nothing's stopping you. And yeah, we look forward to
Stella,
getting.
can I just plug next month? Can we just plug next month real quick as well? Can we plug next
Yeah,
month? Because next month's going to be a different one, isn't it? Next
yeah,
month's going to be special, right?
of
So
course.
I feel like we got to talk about it, yeah? So the revolutionary man we're going to study is Walter Rodney. He was chosen because, well, Stella, you tell us about it because this was, you told me. So, you
Yeah.
know, like,
So
why did
the
we
new
choose Walter Rodney? There was like a few choices.
Okay, so the new Black Film Collective approached us, and they are on this collab flex. And me and Nat, we love a good collab. Collab is what is lacking in our community. We know we need to always get together and do things together rather than reinventing the wheel. So
Mm,
they approached Auntie Jean and they said, look, we're doing these film screenings and we're collabing with all these different communities across the here in the London and what we're doing here, Pan African communities. And would you like to do a film screening? So we tied it together with the Revolutionary Minds, what would make sense, because normally at a film screening you might get a poetry performance, then you get the film, and then you'll have a Q&A at the end. So we thought we can tie it all in together and do the Revolutionary Minds with the film screening, rather than just have these separate things going on. So February was the date that was chosen, and so because February was chosen, we were looking into, we had to get a list of all these films to see which one of those we could choose a person to study to do with Revolutionary Minds. And the most one that stuck out from all the films that were sent to us was Walter Rodney documentary. And what was
yeah.
it? Bob Marley. That was the other
There was some
option.
other good ones. Bob Marley was a good
Yeah,
one as well. Bob Marley was a good one as well. But Walter
yeah,
Rodney kind of hit me definitely as,
yeah.
I guess mostly because I really wanted to read this book, which I now have. Let me find this book. Where's my book? Hold on. Bow. Yeah. I really wanted to read this. So I've got this now. How Europe, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. This is going to be my source material for next month's study. I haven't started it yet. So I'm going to try and finish it between this Sunday and Auntie Jean's next market is the following third Sunday of the month, you know. So
16th.
quite a chunky book, but I'm gonna do my best to swallow it as quickly as I can.
Mm.
Once I've got Dandara out of my system, you know, once I've got Dandara's spirit expressed comprehensively and that energy is cleared, then I'm gonna start jumping into this book and trying to find examples of where I can see him speaking or anything like that. I haven't actually bought flyers for Walter Rodney yet
Okay.
because funds were low. So I'm not going to have any flyers, any physical flyers at Auntie Jean's Market. But I'm going to create them and post them in the group chat and I'll get them printed at some point this month. And I'll definitely just like dash them out. But there'll
Okay.
be digital flyers, they're just not physical ones yet.
Okay. That's all good. That's all
Hmm.
good. Give thanks, Brother Nate. So
But
yeah,
yeah.
that was important actually to highlight. It's good. It's good. So
Hmm.
that's going to be a special Auntie Jean's, a film screening of the documentary made. It features people like Angela Davies is in there, talking about his life. We also have a special guest, Yara Santua, Michelle Yara Santua, Dr. Michelle Yara Santua, for coming in
Hmm.
to talk about the history of Guyana. It's a space, a place that we don't really know much about. What's that? Oh, okay.
Forward by Angela Davis. Yeah. Forward. Come
Yeah.
on.
So, yeah. Another great human being that we're gonna learn about. It's a unfortunate ending, but again,
Mm.
it's still important to learn that history and learn the spirit of the Guyanese. Actually, is what I think we're gonna take away from it. They're very strong people as well. So of these people, the islands are
Well,
strong.
that was not an island, you know.
It's not.
No. But we call it the
Guyana's
Caribbean.
not an island. We do
Guyana,
call it, but it's not an island. It's
Oh.
yeah, it's part of South America, literally next to Brazil.
Yeah.
But they call it Caribbean
yeah.
for some reason.
And do you know why? Because they're islanders, man. Do you know what I mean? They're islanders. That's like when you meet a Guyanese person, they got the same spirit as like the islanders. Really,
Yeah.
that's the vibe that they carry. You know, but you're right. They are definitely not an island. They're not. They
Yeah.
just carry that energy.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to studying an intelligent like revolutionary mind. You know what I mean? Like a person who like an author. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who thought using words and using concepts as opposed to martial arts, which is cool as well. You know, which is dope. But I'm really looking forward to this contrast because I've got his book, so
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, I really. Do you know what I really want to learn about Marxism? Because that's something that Walter Rodney was very big on. You know, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of different revolutionaries that I've come across in our study. I think Dedan Kimathi might have been another one where
Who?
Marxism is mentioned.
Kwame, I know.
Marxism. In fact, say
Kwame.
again.
Kwame Nkrumah
Kwame Nkrumah.
was one as well.
He wasn't a Marxist, but he
But
was
he
Right.
influenced.
but
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Influenced by Marxists, yeah. So I really want to wrap my head around it because I don't feel like I have a full grasp on like how Marxism works or like what is it in a nutshell. You know what I mean? Like so, I
Well,
really would like to this time next month. Oh God, yeah, come put me on, put me on, put me on.
well, I was gonna say like this is the channel because Shakara.
Oh yeah.
It would be good to see if Shakara can unearth, or if we can like find some of the videos on it because Pan Africanism has got this much bigger spectrum than what people know, and some people are
Mm.
Marxist. Like I don't know the terminology. Shakara, please forgive me. But they're Marxist Pan Africans. So in fact, the AAPRP, the All African People's Revolutionary Party, they're socialist leaning. So you got Marxist, which is like extreme left, which is basically everything's equal. Russia before Russia, Cold War Russia, basically.
the
After
USSR.
after the USSR, after they get rid of the their royalty, they're called
The Tsars.
the Tsars. After the Tsars get duppied, you have Marxist communism. Then you have different versions, Leninists, Stalinists. They come afterwards, and they're like very militant or dictatorial or
Like
whatnot.
fascism.
But essentially, the essence of the meaning of communism is that everyone's equal. There's no hierarchy in that sense. So if you're a teacher, if you're a builder, if you're a sports person, you all earn the same. Cuba has got that. Cuba runs off that same thing. So you're pretty much all on a level playing field. The Pan Africanist, though, you have like Garvey was not that. So there would be
Mm.
different breakdowns. Like Shakara's got different breakdowns of the different strands of Pan Africanism and where they lie. And there's debates as to what direction who to take. So we know that the Garvey was about economic empowerment, whereas socialism and Marxism is not really that. And the issue that some Pan Africans have, the ones who are black nationalist Pan Africans, is that Marxism is a European. Marxism European, and it was created for
Karl
Europe.
Marx, yeah.
Karl Marx, German, and what he done it is for
This is
them.
what I'm saying.
Whereas, and
Mm.
so our people, the Black Panthers were that as well. Like they were leaning in that direction.
Mm.
So, but when you go to the Black nationalists, we're like, we have to look for ourselves, and we will find that like the Igbos, they're operated in a certain fashion, or Ubuntu. I am,
Because we are.
because we are, therefore we are because therefore I am.
Yeah.
Like we have our own versions of that. So why do we need to go to the European to operate under his system? It's still it's not for us. Though
Mm.
you do have so many greats that were Marxist, communist, socialist. You had so many greats who were. I think Kwame Ture was that as well. Like, I'm not sure
Oh
Marx.
yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know Walter Rooney's got another book on the subject of Marxism, and I can see I was posted in the chat decolonial Marxism essays. So, that's something to be, I guess, checking out next month. So, but yeah, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. AMD, listen, next month, yeah, spend the month studying Walter Rodney and bring a poem about Walter Rodney to Auntie Jean's market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see you. You're more than welcome. You are so welcome. Do you know what I'm saying? Come through, bring a poem about Walter Rodney, and like, get involved, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just one or two. Get involved in what we're doing. I feel like you will find a lot of value in it, honestly. But
100%.
yeah, this has been Dandara Dos Palmares.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, that's
we
it.
told we told Stella we were gonna wrap up 45 minutes ago and sent her to bed, and then we, you know
Okay.
what I mean, and then we just like poor
Carry on.
thing, and then we just carried on talking without her. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
mum.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you next time. Yes, we'll see you next time.
Good,
In the same.
thanks.
See you
All
on
right.
Sunday.
Big up, Nate.
Love, 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 love. Yeah, mum. Likewise.
Media family, everyone that's tuned in.